Screen sharing pause though.
Well, we're streaming, right?
Well, it's going. Yeah, it's
So I'll announce, I have to do roll call.
we're good.
Okay, great. Hello. We're streaming, right? Can we turn?
Well, it's going. Yeah, it's
So I'll announce, I have to do roll call. Great, love hearing the sound of my voice at the start of the meeting. All right, everyone, I'd like to call the Town of Rochester Town Board December 11th business meeting to order. You could all stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to go ahead and do the roll call to get us started. Our town clerk will be joining us a little later since we're starting in an executive session. So Councilwoman Alba.
Present, I had hiccups, so.
Okay. Councilman Wynn.
Here.
Councilwoman Sneesa. Here. Councilman Coleman.
Here.
And Supervisor Anawan is here. So our first item on the agenda is the acceptance of the agenda. So I'll make a motion that the town board accepts the agenda as presented in the amended version with the following amendments. That we add 2 contract approvals for our generator agreement and our rug cleaning agreement at the end of the resolution. And the 3 additional discussion items of courthouse repairs, general repairs, and the boards and commissions terms. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Okay, so I published a amended agenda last night. We are putting our executive session at the beginning of the meeting, so I'm saying this at the beginning of the stream. I do expect that this will be at least 45 minutes, so we are going to have a note up and we will come back and have the public meeting when we are done with the executive session. This room will remain open. We're going to another room. So do you want to use yourself before we go into executive session?
Yeah, do I have to do that every now? How do I do that officially? I'm recusing myself
From one of the
from one of the items on the executive.
Okay, so I will have the minutes reflect when you come back. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to enter to executive session at 6:35 p.m. for the purposes of matters regarding the employment history of particular persons. Oh, I need a. So when motion, all the second, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. Okay.
Did you abstain?
Yeah. Oh, do I need to abstain?
I'm sorry?
Do I need to abstain for the vote?
Going into executive session?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
You're just not coming in. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna mute audio, so just somebody remind me to unmute it.
Okay.
I move that we exit from executive session at 7:25 PM. And go into a second executive session to discuss personnel matters
Potential litigation.
and potential litigation at 7:26.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. So we're going into a second executive session. Where Councilman Coleman is not recused, he's not. So we will be back.
Oh, this meeting.
Should we give them a lesson so that they could leave?
Some of them, like.
Give them a lesson. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Should have scheduled the meeting for 8 o'clock.
I know they were, I think on the website agenda, they were saying it would probably be till 7:30, the executive session.
They said 45 minutes is what they wrote on the.
Oh, is that what it said?
And they'd only show, I only saw one executive. Where's the other?
Well, there's two different topics, so one,
Well, that makes sense, but estimates 45 minutes.
yeah,
No.
no,
Not.
Hmm?
I'm thinking more,
oh, for the kids.
yeah,
Yeah, I know, it's unfortunate. Bad meeting to get into,
no, but they have
right?
executive sessions.
Is there any way you could give me like 2 topics that I can just like write about?
Of course you can.
Mine is due tomorrow.
Yeah,
And I wasn't.
yeah. So what do you mean by topics? Do you need something that,
Yeah. Issue.
Just give them a background on how a town board, I'll sign all of your agendas, I want to round out for your teacher after we get out of the session, so you guys can leave.
Yeah.
Yes.
so a couple like quick things we have on here, so we have to retain a contract with an engineer firm because we currently don't have a code enforcement officer.
Okay.
So in the interim, we are contracting out with Peak Engineering. We have 2 adoption of local laws on for tonight. One is a tax exemption for accessory dwelling units, and that is to help with affordable housing. Accessory dwelling units are homes that you can have on your property that have to stay within a certain square footage. And it's meant for when you go to college and come home and can't afford to live anywhere, and you could live on your parents' property in a little tiny home. That's what an accessory dwelling unit is. And there's an opportunity to get a tax exemption on that, where you would pay less tax for that unit over a certain period of time. And that is supposed to help with the affordable housing crisis in Ulster County. The other local law is to make changes to our planning board alternate position, which we have a planning board that handles all the building and construction that takes place. It's a board that an applicant would have to go before, and this is just to make changes in the law so the alternate can sit at the table. There's a discussion about there's an appointment for an employee. We are purchasing playground equipment for the back here. That's through the remainder of our ARPA funding that we received through COVID. Let's see what else we got on here.
Hey, tell them what ARPA is.
Huh?
Tell them what ARPA is.
Oh, ARPA is a American Rescue. Let me see.
Yeah, I know.
American Rescue Plan,
Plan.
which after COVID, the federal government gave every town in the United States a certain amount of money, funds to help offset your town, and there's a criteria you have to follow. And what you could use the funds for, and this is gonna be used towards recreation. So we paid for playground equipment in the town park in 2021, and now we're paying for playground equipment in the back here. We gave some of that funding to our EMS KFAS to help with funds in like 2022, possibly 23, 22. We were able to pay essential workers $1 an hour for every hour they worked during COVID with that funding. Let's see what else we got on here. We're gonna be scheduling a public hearing on an exemption for seniors, which is to increase the senior exemption. I'm not sure what the threshold would be, but it's gonna be for that. And exemptions are people that, based on a criteria, you can get a tax break on your property, school taxes.
Can you talk a little bit more about the contracting with the people?
So, we are required by law to have a building inspector and a code enforcement officer, which is the person that goes out and has to enforce the town law. Our code enforcement officer retired. Little unexpectedly, so we didn't have a plan in place. And in the interim, while we're waiting to hire somebody as an employee, we have to contract these jobs out. So we have a shared service agreement right now at the town of Marltown Building Department. And then we are going into an agreement with Peak Engineering in Stone Ridge. And they are going to go out and do inspections on buildings for us. Oh, well, I'm the town clerk for the town, so I'm the one who records everything that takes place at the meetings and puts the minutes together for the at the meetings. I don't get to go in the side room and get involved in all the legal mumbo jumbo that goes on. But, any other questions?
Is there anything like controversial with the big finding, I just say, the contract? Yeah.
With the contractors? I mean, so last month we did have a few contractors at our meeting that are a little discouraged with us not having a building inspector because it halts a lot of their work and then it puts them off and then it's a higher expense for them, more of an expense on the homeowner. So there is that conflict going on right now. So that's why we're trying to resolve it as quick as we can with doing shared service agreements. I mean, I guess with the ADUs, there could always be conflict with that as well, because when someone receives an exemption, that exemption they save does fall back on the rest of the taxpayers. So sometimes might be some, depending on what the exemption is, there could be a little controversy with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to be approving our UCRRA contract. That's our contract with our local transfer station. We have an appointment to a position. We are trying to put a plan in place on our reassessments, which is what your property value is in town, and based on your assessment, that's how your taxes, your property taxes and your school taxes are assessed. So we're trying to discuss a plan in place for that because it's been so long since we've had a reval done in town that we are at like a 52% equalization rate, which means we're really below the line for that. And we just had a reval done that will actually go in effect July 1st, 2026. And then this plan is to discuss moving forward how we go about staying up on those those assessments without falling behind again. So that's another topic they're going to be discussing tonight. And then in the beginning, like the financials they discussed, that's just our bills for the month. They have to approve paying those. All elected officials are expected to give a report. So the town supervisor gives a report, I give a report, and we usually are supposed to have a report from our highway superintendent. So just my report for the month is I collected $46,000 in revenue. So I collect all the money that comes into the building department, the rec department, our planning office, our transfer station, our clerk fees. So I collect that every month, code it, and then turn it over to supervisor. And the other thing is I ordered our tax bills. They should be in by the end of this month. And they go out in January. I have 2 resignations. We had 2 employees that resigned from their jobs. I have to announce that. And then, each board member discusses different committees that they sit on. Information that's going on with those. We approved the last month's meeting minutes. Any donations that get made to the town, and that generally happens in our rec department. They put on luncheons and a lot of people donate money to that. So we have that on here. And then the adoption of the local law, the tax exemption one, and the planning board. Peak engineering. The reval. An appointment of the job, in the highway department. The playground equipment. And that's pretty much what the meeting's gonna be. There are some discussion items. I can't tell you what they're about because I haven't received the material to see what's going on about them. So what I hear here is pretty much, I know what you know with those. But, and that's pretty much what the whole meeting will be covering. Okay. All right. Sorry that you had to sit here this time before the meeting. Usually they happen at the end of the evenings, but I believe information tonight will have to be part of what takes place in the meeting too. So they had to do it earlier. Do you need anybody to sign anything or? Yeah,
I think, are you able to do?
yeah, no, I'm pretty much the one in charge of all the records. Need the agenda signed?
Yeah. They work.
Yeah.
I have a question, but I
Yeah.
don't want to ask it out.
Social services.
I can show you the resolutions.
Thank you. You're welcome. You have a good night. I haven't read it yet, Bea, that's why I didn't talk about that one, because I myself.
We're given what you had. I mean, they're not gonna go back.
I haven't read it yet, so that's why I didn't talk about it.
Oh,
Looks like it has to do with affordable housing, I believe.
is that all? You just.
You can hold on to that, because I have. So this was the buyer. It's the same thing,
Still.
because I remember this came up when they were talking about it. Remember, I don't know if you remember that when it first time around, it came out, it was a 1.5%.
Yes, I do.
And
And I wonder
Charlotte-
where they.
well,
Why?
Charlotte was like, I don't want it at 1.5% because the town can only be at 2% off in any fund. And she knew this was gonna be coming out, so she wanted them to do one for community preservation, so they'd have the opportunity to do one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's the one I have, but.
No.
No. No, I can print another tomorrow.
No, that's all right, no, I see what it,
Okay.
I see. Remember when we did the work from them? It's for the bottle of the 1%, it's going to. This is. So that's to build with or to hold to build with, are they gonna buy
You know,
property?
My thing is I get very confused because I don't really understand how far the town is gonna get involved because
You're not a real estate.
we're not really, we're not in the business to be renting, so I don't know if it's more of. I honestly, I don't know, because I've thought that myself, like, who's going to be in
You're
charge,
gonna-
like, how does
gonna
this
start
work?
another whole department to do the rents? Or to make sure
Yeah.
you got the code?
Right. Right, I have no clue, because I've thought that myself too, like,
Nobody's applied for the job, huh?
I think they've done a couple interviews, but.
All comes. You okay, Drew?
Yeah.
Didn't make it. Well, that's okay, it's getting there.
Find out, I guess some people need some research. Check those, yes, and then the pictures of him. With them, so that
It's
is.
not Dan, so. He was a Dan.
Don't know, but you just said that, I would been.
He's kind of chunky. A good sized man. The best way I can describe it.
Probably in his 60s.
He could be late 50s, 60s.
Yes. Let's say they want to, but I don't know. if this would be-
I have a backstory. Robin Holmes turns around with ship student and here I come.
Okay. So he's one, and we have a woman, but she hasn't even finished. Oh, so she would be a provisional, and we still would have to, like, that's what I was. Oh, do.
So you did a good presentation. As well. That's what.
Basically, what she's not mentioned, she's giving me that legal thing, of course, there's exemptions, but I can't tell you, we have signed this. Yeah, yeah, I was, yeah, sure. I was gonna say. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's that, and really, feel good about that, that's the process, trust her, and she. Right. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I don't. That would be awesome. Actually. I tried not to. Yeah. So it's this machine. I think I have the money to reach money. And we'll go back and do that. I choose it. Yeah, it's very nice. I can't do a lot. Well, I personally, too much. I also, like, when my home, and it's never, we get things, it's really true. And you look at the chance you have to get, and what they see. And you don't honestly, it is. People are coming at me all the time, and I do know it's such a. And. Of course, people, all the people, people don't see it. Yeah. And I just, I do think that. You want. People. That you have to. They did a flat, okay, it's during COVID and it was less like going on, yeah, but. Okay, so just saying, look, I do remember the events before.
And days. Unless the system, I was gonna say, unless the systems. And then it's just. Keep it, he's trying to keep counts. Whatever, outside. You want to do too long.
So you could. No. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think it's. This is maybe.
Yeah, it's mine. I dropped mine. Um, Well. Better than it. It'd be better, it wouldn't heat, it wouldn't freeze. Here, I'm the same person. I'm not. But open. Yeah, right. It's weird. Like you can't see your house, it's so much. That's what I'm wondering, but that's saying after something to look at.
Yeah.
But it is still on the top. If we can raise the building, we get them. Do that stage, and I feel great, I would love to see that. But I think that goes to that road. Something to do with the projects to build over. Not unlike this, but this is still something. She said she. She does, because they want to have them. So I don't know. I mean, friends. I know, I know. Yeah, too, yeah, she does. Still, you do need to do some of the projects. So that's the thing. Because she. Yeah, no, I think she's. You can't do, it will have to be presented, yes, yeah, but you can't clean it up, whoever would want.
Oh, yeah,
That's even.
so, I mean, that can. That's.
That. Counts. Children. And then changed. And you know, did they? You know, we've got. Oh, yeah, keep in mind, she's very on. I know. And because you have to have the. To go now.
Yeah, that is a thing.
I am simply the
Saying, yeah, you know, and
same do. And so, you know, and
I had.
they're saying that word. It's not buried in my background. Yeah. No, my kid is. Wow. I said, yeah, you know, what you do, study, you do my course, Joseph. You let me know, with no patience, exactly. No, well, I know. I know exactly what it was. The grandmother. There are two vouchers, two bills, something. Right. So I thought that. What's that? You have monthly, so it's kind of one. Bill Carter was getting a check for me. Right. Big Sunday, and he. Within 10 months, what would you do for $10? I said, I coffee. You know, there was a pen, there was only two bills, and they were set up on different categories. I'm now next, you know, I comment on something and I wait for it. So I say, here you are, I was waiting. Okay. I don't see. So. He was good on the headquarters. But that's the difference. It goes in the little bit, the 4 digits, it's still work on the number coming out of cap. Yeah. Let's see, whatever the cap is. We'll move that mark. That's whatever in how she is. And that's what's the difference. I was thinking. When extra. Her holding out many bonds. I said, this sounds like he's in his name. It's something. It's a big something. He sleeps in his cameras, you know. So yes. And it was. She immediately gave him the way. Into it and sure enough. What the difference is. She. I don't. I think, yeah, the way you say, into business, making mistake. Doing things, so they want to say yes. Absolutely not. And I want that. See what's working. And I say to him, what do I do? You get rid of this. He said, just stay off even. But the problem is the same. Yeah. First I was saying. I know. I know. You. It's been. Okay. Standing up there and because everybody was walking in front of it, like, if I have to stand up, I'm gonna fall down. That let me see, might as well let me sleep down. I made a joke. But that's true. Good thing. So what do you think, Kenneth? I'm not gonna sit through the whole thing. They'll either do what they do or not do.
How much do you think I would say?
All right, I hope so. That's what
So
I'm
you would
hoping.
just go through our reports and.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Wait, where are we? We're number 4, 5, and 6, 7, what's 7? That's the board. We're at 8. Oh, those are the rest. We're at 8.
Is everyone else coming out?
What?
I didn't know if you were just coming out. or-
Oh, yeah, we're all. Stop.
Get rough to go bathroom.
Still streaming? I get a text. And I'm like.
Sit in the place.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if I
Yeah.
adjust it again, it's in. It's unhappy.
That would be so awesome.
It's literally, you know,
Yeah.
It's moving.
Amazing. Mhm. Wow.
And I think they have.
Go down.
Like, awesome. It's definitely.
It is go down. Directly.
It won't hurt my feelings.
I'm just worried, you saw me do this like 10 times and then it disconnects us.
Oh, I see.
I know, as soon as it gets into something hurts, then the next truth.
I educated all the students.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was
I was like, please, I was like, I'm
We're
sorry, I can't do
unmuted.
this again.
Share.
No, well, the last time that happened was, okay, came to a budget. And I was like, give me guys, I'm so a motion to exit executive session at 8:5.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. All right, so now we're at the top of the agenda. So I'm gonna go through as quickly as I can because we also have a bill audit. November financial report. So I have the full financial statements, so year to date, budget versus actual, and all expenditures and revenue for the month of November are in the both the public folder that's linked at the top of the agenda and for the town board has those. So revenue, the summary is revenue for general fund is $112,057.50. Highway fund is $4,837.10. Expenditures, $202,075.40. Highway, $97,075.94. Capital fund, 0. Street lighting, $507.66, and ambulance fund was $6,250. So I don't have much to report. Most of what I've done is on this very long agenda. So, Kate, do you have anything to report?
Sure. So for the month of November, $46,331 was collected. We're working on closing out files for the 2025 year. Tax bills have been ordered, and I hope to have them made by the end of this month to process them and get them out to the residents before the beginning of the year. And I've received 2 resignations in the last month. One is Kevin Hoteling as HMEO and Highway, and the other is Charles Fisher from the Zoning Board of Appeals.
The highway, I don't have a highway report, but I was asked to just announce that we do, the snow season came really quick. The town provides, our sand, and salt mix to the public. So that's for just personal use. That is not, it's just, there's a limit on the amount of buckets that you can take. It is not to be shoveled into vehicles. So we ask that while it's something we are happy to provide, that residents be mindful that we have limitations so that there's enough for the people who it can be really helpful for. I don't have any department reports actually, so we can move on to the board and committee reports. Alexis.
Climate Smart Task Force, so the Funding Futures hosted the wreath making event. It was fantastic, great turnout. They will be scheduling another couple of events in November in December, probably January and February. So just keep your eyes open for that. Ag Advisory Committee did not meet and will not meet in December, and ECC did not have quorum. So not a whole lot, and will also not be meeting December. And then the only other thing I had was that piece for Climate Smart, that for the bronze status, they're asking for us to just recognize the appointment of the coordinator, and I sent something out. I did not print it out. But we would just have to like officially recognize the coordinator. And I sent the language around, but I did not print it out.
Okay, I think I must have added the other thing to the drive, but maybe not that one.
Okay.
Okay, I think I just saw the one. I think
Okay. I mean, I can do that during board member time, like, and so we can move on quickly.
Is that something we could do at the 23rd?
Yeah, I think that'll be fine.
Okay,
to
let's
put
maybe-
a pin in it, just because we're running, so.
I'll make a note on our notes. Okay. Did you have, I'm sorry, did you say if you had AG or ECC?
Yeah, ECC met, they didn't have quorum, and they didn't get into a lot, so they said, okay, to just update next meeting. And then, also Climate Smart would like everyone to know they have a couple of open seats. So encourage applications to supervisor now.
Michael? Oh, I'm sorry, Charlotte? I'm sorry. You guys, I'm a little flustered by how long that was, so, okay.
I only have the youth recreation commission, the senior and youth recreation commission report, so here it goes. The youth holiday party on December 5th was a great success. There were approximately 65 kids in attendance. A huge thank you to Santa and Mrs. Claus for stopping by. They made the night very magical for the children of the community. Tomorrow, December 12th, is the senior holiday breakfast from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Harold Littman Community Center. Call to make reservations. The Mary Lee Friend of Youth Award will be given out at the event. On Wednesday, December 17th, that is next Wednesday, the Recreation Department will be hosting a holiday paint workshop for adults at 9 a.m. in the community center. This class is currently full with 30 participants, but you can call to be put on the wait list in case we have any cancellations. The Town of Rochester Recreation Department would like to wish everyone a happy and healthy holiday season. And the only thing I just want to add to that report is that at the youth holiday party, we did also award the Sue Matson Distinguished Youth Award to, I'm gonna forget his last name, it's Wyatt Baker, thank you, to Wyatt Baker, and he was awarded that at the party, and we look forward to awarding the Mary Lee one tomorrow.
All right, I'll be quick. Planning board, so continue to be very busy. It's 2 large applications and or impactful applications that have been taking up multiple meetings. So there's also a lot of public interest in that. So they've been busy. I'm actually meeting with Chairman Jones tomorrow to just go over any issues that they're having. Zoning Board of Appeals, nothing new to report. I think they had 1 application in their last meeting. Ambulance Improvement District Advisory Committee. So we have that on the agenda later today to talk about contracts. I met with the county, Ulster County EMS. They're really great. Gave us a lot of good feedback about both what they're doing, how they're kind of viewing EMS in the county, as well as recommendations for what to include in future contracts. So that was helpful. We also have open seats on that committee that we'll need to look at. So I think we should probably just put a notice out for all of the openings.
Yes.
And free exchange, recycling, everything is going well. There's a few very dedicated volunteers that are keeping things running smoothly. Every time I've stopped in, things are working. So
Did they stop for the winter months?
they haven't been. There were a few years where we did.
Right.
But no, they've been
We did.
continuing to do it. Yeah. The plastic recycling, I think, is gonna pause.
Okay. The HPC did not have a meeting in December, and instead they got together and had a holiday luncheon. And they will reconvene their meetings in January, so I don't have anything.
Okay, anything from the court, Zoe?
No, we're just working with the justices for a list of equipment and repairs that they need and trying to find funding for that.
Okay. Okay, that's it for that portion of our agenda. So now we have the public comment portion of the meeting where members of the public can address remarks to the board directly. We do this like we handle public hearings, so we ask that members of the public address the board. You may ask us questions during your public comment, but we won't answer them during the public comment portion of the meeting. However, our next agenda item is the town board member time, where we encourage people who have come to address the board to stick around because there might be a response given at that time. So with that, is there anyone here who would like to address the board? Okay.
Sally, the first question I have is for you. Are they doing a JCAP grant? Has anyone done that?
Yes,
And,
we actually have a JCAP grant.
I just said we don't. we're not
okay,
taking
you don't
questions.
have to answer, I shouldn't have answered that. Let me rephrase, I'm sorry. In the past, there have been JCAP grants. I would hope that they would continue to do those JCAP grants. And if you would like to give some input when it's time for the board to speak, would you do that, please? And secondarily, Mr. Coleman, I see, like you said, at the end of this agenda, like, number 12. The ambulance district contract. We, as board members, have not received, I've received your email with regard to the updates, but we have not received the final contract inclusive of the updates. Would it be possible, before you decide to approve anything, that we as the boards could get together and meet either as a whole with the town board, Aaron, you, Mr. Coleman, the whole board, or something to happen prior to that, so that there's a discussion with the committees regarding the contracts.
Great. Would anyone else like to address the board at this time? Was there someone? We have someone named Kelly on Zoom. Would you like to address the board during our public comment portion of the meeting? If you would, you can unmute yourself.
No, not at this time. I was interested just in the taxes and finding out more about what our property taxes would look like with this new assessment.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so with that, I'll close the public comment portion of the meeting. Town board member time. Dolly.
I'd like to express our condolences to Christina Herrera, whose son passed away this week. She's our deputy town clerk, and our hearts are with it. I'd also like to give kudos to Hugh Ashcroft and the Old Mine Carpentry Company, which raised about $15,000 for the Rochester Food Pantry last weekend. So that's a huge offer for the pantry. And in response to B's question, yes, they do have an existing JCAP grant, and we're trying to reallocate those funds for some of the equipment and things that the court has asked for. And we have to close out that before we can apply for next year's funding.
My answer to B's question is also yes. It would be my intention to share whatever the board decides. So we have a lot of red lines that we've put into the document. The board hasn't had a chance to talk about it. We obviously want to in a public meeting. So hopefully we can finalize that. I think there's a few decisions that we would need to make tonight, and then we can go final and get the committee's feedback, and then we can forward it to the squad to get their thoughts.
Do you think that adding a discussion where you would invite the committee on the 23rd do you think that timeline works okay?
Yeah, I mean, assuming that we can get to it tonight
Okay,
and the board.
I'm taking notes for the agenda
in the notes.
and the note app. Yeah. Okay. So what we're just discussing is the board will talk about all the edits which are inclusive of the recommendations that we receive from the committee. The version we have includes those. Plus the attorney comments, which were in the version that you got.
Right.
And we're gonna discuss that, but then we can invite the Ambulance Improvement District Advisory Committee to our workshop meeting on the 23rd. So we'll follow up with an email, but then we can review the outcome of what we're thinking all together.
I don't know. I don't remember getting input. I'm sorry,
It was in the version that Michael sent.
the,
It was in the version that Michael sent.
where he sent his comments.
Mhm. Her comments were incorporated.
Oh,
I think it was all in red. It didn't say whose was whose.
his are in green, mine are in red. It's a very Christmassy document.
Yeah. So she had looked at it and incorporated her comments to the version that you were sent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her comments were in what the county reviewed.
Okay,
A comment, I'm sorry.
What the county reviewed, so prior to talking with the county, her comments were already in there too. So they saw her version. The county's feedback already included her version.
know why I don't remember seeing specifics from her. I'm sorry.
I don't know if she had comments or they were just red lines.
okay, might have been redline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alexis or Charlotte, did you have any town board member time comments? I did wanna, is Kelly still on the line? So, yeah, one thing about the reassessment is a very big project that has not concluded yet. A lot of our property owners, town. Oh, could you mute yourself, Kelly? I'm just answering the question. A lot of property owners became more aware of this project because of the mailing that happened. One thing that I'll say in general is that this is a townwide reevaluation. So what that means is every single property's being looked at, and the goal of this is for us to go from the 53% equalization rate to 100. So while I cannot say how any single property will be impacted, overall, it's going to bring everyone's value up at the same time. So if your property is just being reassessed at the market rate, then there won't be an impact on your tax bill, basically. The only impact you would see on your tax bill is if your property had previously been overassessed or had previously been underassessed, and then those discrepancies get fixed, and in those cases, those property owners would see a change in their tax bill because their relative value is going to be different than the relative value that most people are going to have to each other. So it's a big project. The other thing is that the tax bills everyone's getting soon are not impacted by the reval. So everything that's on the tax bill coming up was from the rolls that were published in July. So the reval will take effect July of 2026. So that's when those will be published. And so this year's tax bill that's coming up soon is whatever your assessment was over the summer.
I have something to add to that. So the purpose of the reval is to make sure that everyone is being assessed fairly in accordance with current market valuations. So some property owners will see increases where they were undervalued relative to current market. Others will be reduced because it's perceived that they were overvalued in relation to current market prices. So what the supervisor said is that the revaluation itself would not have an impact on the January tax bills. However, because the tax levy imposed based on the town's budget is increased from prior years, there will likely be an increase in tax bills, but that's not related to the revaluation itself.
And isn't the plan that they're going to have some sessions to talk about the reval? Yeah. Do we know around when those are gonna?
It's gonna be before the published date. But it's like, I think the fear was if we did it too soon, people wouldn't.
Yeah.
People wouldn't really know what was going on and wouldn't. But now that people are really aware, I think we could get like a really good turnout.
So there'd be public sessions like springtime?
Yeah.
Sure.
It would make sense to do it somehow like 6 weeks before the
Yeah.
grievance day,
Yeah,
or the assessment
Yeah.
grievance day,
I think,
which is like the third Thursday in March, May.
okay. Okay,
Thanks for reaching out, Kelly.
all right, yes, so moving on to resolutions, I'll make a motion that the town board accepts and approves the minutes of the October 23rd, 2025 meeting, the November 6th, 2025, November 13th, 2025, and there were two meetings held on November 19th, 2025.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Thank you so much, Kate. I had the pleasure recently of reading some years of minutes and I felt like it was amazing.
Oh,
It's
good.
like I really,
Good.
like I really.
You were there.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so thank you for all the work you do. I have a stack of donations. I think, do you have the, okay. Um. Okay, so the town board accepts the donations received for town purposes as presented. $302 of cash donations. $200 from Arlene Levine and $50 from Mel and Elaine Tapper for the Thanksgiving luncheon. $134.21 from St. Pauli Textile. We received a discount on a tree from Marshall's Tree Farm for the wreath making workshop, which the wreaths are on the door. They're beautiful. And the cost of that tree was $70. It was 25 feet tall. So we also received a donation of a Tetris Tumble extra large game and a Giant Connect 4 game for the children in the after school and summer programs from Lisa and Ron Wazaksi. Wajaka, thank you. And we received a donation of 6 to 15 pound turkeys for the Thanksgiving luncheon from Gary Palmer, as well as $440 worth of turkey breasts from Jeffrey Lipton in Harold Lipton's honor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All
you,
in
everyone.
all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Would you like these?
I think I got them.
Oh, okay, great. So the abstract we're moving to the end of the meeting because we need more signatures on those bills. So adoption of local laws. Are you guys, so Bill, if anyone would like to read resolutions, you just say so, okay? So
I can if he's ready.
okay. So, well, we can do, since this was published, you know, at least over 3 days in advance, we can do to adopt as presented, but for the local laws, I'll read those in. So I'd like to make a motion that the board, whereas the board acknowledges that this action was previously classified as type 2 under seeker and requires no further environmental review. And whereas a duly noticed public hearing was held November 13th, 2025, at which no public comments were received, now therefore be it resolved that the town board adopts local law 6 of 2025 tax exemption for accessory dwelling units and request the town clerk file the law with the Secretary of State.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. And I just realized that I didn't double check the name of the next local law. I just typed it into the agenda. So. Okay, so the next one is the adoption of the local law amending chapter 38 zoning planning board and zoning board of appeals alternate. So whereas which is being renamed to 7 of 2025. Okay. Whereas the board acknowledges that this action was previously classified as type 2 under, I'll make a motion that whereas the board acknowledges that this action was previously classified as type 2 under seeker, requiring no further environmental review, and whereas a duly noticed public hearing was held on November 13th, 2025, at which no public comments were received. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board adopts local law 7 of 2025 amendment to the local law amending chapter 38, zoning, planning board and zoning board of appeals alternate, and requests the town clerk file the law with the Secretary of State.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. We're tabling the next one because I didn't have time. I'll just alert you that the county increased the exemption for the tax exemption for senior citizens. And our assessor requested that we match our law. So I'd like to for us to do that as soon as possible so that it takes effect for March 1st for the cutoff. So that I have put it in our notes that I'm requesting that the board schedule a public hearing for that. I will get it to you as soon as possible for the earliest January meeting, so our first business meeting. Okay, so it's just gonna be matching the counties on that. Okay, next one. We can talk about this just in discussion if you'd like. So I'll make a motion that the town board authorizes the retention of Peak Engineering to conduct structural inspections on a temporary basis for the building department at the rate of $130 per hour and reimbursement for 70 cents per mile of mileage for the following inspection types, which would be any structural inspections, pre-sites, concrete pours, framing, any structural inspection for the building department.
Second.
Discussion. So we have right now, we do not have a code enforcement officer. We have a shared services agreement with another town, so it's very limited. The inspection schedule is very, very constrained. We had gotten advice from our town planner to reach out to engineering firms and contract with them to do structurals for us. Peak was the only engineering firm that has agreed to do this. And so because we are already behind, I wanted to, so I've got this on the agenda basically, because this is like our option to keep things moving forward. And they do not want to do it on a permanent basis. It's clear that it's very temporary, so.
And they're willing to do it like with the schedule we determine, or is it gonna be as they have availability?
Basically, they are going to review the process with the building department, and so that they have a familiarity with the process and think go from there.
Are they asking us to give them a terminal date?
Nope. Okay. Any more discussion? So all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. So authorizing the plan for cyclical reassessment, I included this in our backup, and the guide here. It's a very simple plan, but, I'll make a motion that the town board authorizes the submission of the cyclical reassessment plan as presented by Assessor Baraka and authorizes the town supervisor and the town assessor to submit the plan and affirms the town's commitment to a regular reappraisal schedule and acknowledges the town's eligibility for available state aid for such reassessment programs.
Second.
Any discussion?
So is this a state requirement now, or is it just a requirement for the grants?
It's not, it's a requirement they strongly recommend it. And there's funding that is not like a lot of funding, but it is a nice, if they have it available. So there's no promise, but if it's available, I think they do it first come, first serve. It is a nice, it's a little bit of a revenue stream that's not nothing. So, now what we're committing to is a 4-year cycle. The requirement is 6.
And if we miss the 4-year cycle, are there penalties or anything, or it's just?
No. And this would be our in-house cycle. This isn't like a plan to hire a firm every 4 years. It's a plan
Just keeping up with.
to keep up with our assessments.
Um,
And for the year, so for next year, we would be eligible for the full per assessed value award. The off years, it's like less. So it's like on the assessment years, there's like a more, and then the off years, there's a little less. So one thing that Jeremy brought up is that is one way of thinking about having additional staff support is that funding stream.
are there any restrictions on it, so we can use it for staff, software? Things like that.
That's a good question, but I think it is supposed to support the schedule, so.
Good.
This one has highlighter marks in it if you guys wanna look through it. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. Before I forget, I'm going to sign this. Okay. So, I'll make a motion that the town board recognizes the appointment made by the highway superintendent of Michael Hilario to the position of heavy motor operator in the highway department effective December 8th, 2025 at the rate of pay established in the 2025 compensation schedule in the collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. So I make a motion to authorize the town supervisor to sign the Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency contract as presented with the amendments made by the attorney for the town and agreed upon by the UCRA.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. We're tabling the Ring Squared contract. I don't have access to that document and wasn't able to retrieve it in time for the meeting. Charlotte, are you ready for the next resolution?
I am. Wait. Then I will be.
Do you have the state contract information on it?
We're gonna table this one.
Until later in the
I'm gonna
meeting?
email you. No,
Oh,
next meeting. So before the end of the year, no.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to table this? Okay, so the next one is authorizing the supervisor to apply for a technical assistance grant. So I'll make a motion that the town board ratifies and grants authorization of the homes and community renewal technical assistance grant application submitted by the town supervisor on November 15th, 2025. And express gratitude for the members of the Housing Advisory Committee for their assistance in preparing the grant application by the deadline.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Did you guys take a look at that application? So it's for $167,000 to do a community housing plan with like some pretty big benchmark projects. So fingers crossed, because that would be kind of a lot of what we've been talking about could be achieved through that.
They helped you fill that out, the housing committee?
Well, yes.
That's good.
We worked on it together the day after I submitted the mountain of data required to be a pro housing certified community. So I'm not even sure if we're eligible. I made it clear in the application that we had applied but not received. So I didn't want anyone to spend too much time on that application. So we put it together in a few hours.
When does it get awarded?
They didn't publish that. Okay, next, our Restoring Social Services Resolution, Alexis and Charlotte.
Yeah, I just had a chance to send everybody the language, so I don't know if we wanted to put it on hold until everybody had a chance to read through it, or we could talk about it now.
I literally just got logged onto the email for the first time in a week for this meeting.
Yeah, there were a couple of citations I definitely wanted, yeah.
Oh,
to
okay.
My
include.
verbiage, 'cause-
So
yeah,
this,
no.
all right, so let me capture these notes, so,
Oh,
okay, so.
but thank you for
Okay.
all
Ring Square Playground.
your input, which I included.
Yes, yeah, oh no, I was reading. through
Restoring
before.
social. Yeah, I mean, I would personally like to make it a little bit more tailored, because where I couldn't include Rochester, I just substituted Ulster County, but I would like to make it
Yeah, I
more.
saw that there was a point that I could
Yeah,
possibly find, right?
yeah.
One down.
This one doesn't have the citations in it, but if you want that.
Okay. So that I'll update, so we'll do a brief discussion item about this SharePoint site that I created for our documents,
Mhm.
but it's in there.
Okay.
So we just have to update the date on it for the
Okay.
next agenda. Got it. All right. So the next one is scheduling the 2026 organizational meeting. My proposal is Friday, January 2nd. We really can't do it later than that Monday, which is pretty late for an org meeting, but so those are our two options. What do you guys think?
Sorry, what's the other option?
So we've got the 2nd or the 5th.
Second.
Get it over with. Long meeting.
And I already have the draft agenda ready for you guys.
Press with the start of the year.
Oh, then 6:30?
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. I think 5:30 is the earliest we could start. Right? Because do they even have after school on that day? Are the kids?
On
No,
the
the kids
second,
aren't
no,
in school,
the
but
kids aren't
yeah,
in school,
Okay,
but Monday they.
yeah, okay. So if we're on Friday, we could start it probably whenever you guys want. 4?
All right, I'm gonna say yes, and see if Renee will feed the horses.
At 4 p.m.? Okay.
What, it takes like an hour and a half in the winter. There,
Michael?
That should be fine.
Okay.
4 o'clock, the 2nd.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion that the town board schedules the 2026 organizational meeting for Friday, January 2nd, 2026 at 4 p.m. at the Harold Lakeland Community Center. Oh, sorry about that. And it requests the town clerk publish and post notice.
2nd.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. Okay, so my next one is I have the bulk of the year-end budget modifications done. Michael will be chairing, I won't be at our next meeting. Michael will be chairing that meeting, so I'm trying to get, I don't know if you can tell, I'm trying to get things done for that so that he doesn't have to do all this.
Screw it up.
So
Sit here.
this document here, the big one, is general fund budget modifications. It's a net zero grouping that basically rights all wrongs and anticipates any over expenditures. So I'm moving anything that I know we're not spending and putting it into places that I know are going to need it. It's $125,000 worth of movement, but this is an Excel spreadsheet. So if you look at the back, you can see the pink column and the yellow column are the same exact amount of money. So that means it's a zero, like no, it means that it's a balanced budget modification. So I know it's a lot, but I have a version of the financial report that I submitted to the board that marks like everywhere that I took those changes, or made those changes, but it is not anything. The biggest thing is we're paying our retirement voucher tonight. And that the budget, I did not know how to budget for that last year. So that one is like $60,000 that I had to adjust. So that's why it's so big. It's because I had to. And it's a very tight budget. This was a little stressful actually, and fun, but there was a moment where I thought I didn't have it, but I did.
We would just approve these.
So the second one is the highway department, and theirs is a lot smaller. And I'm sorry, I forgot to the total. So if someone wanted to total those pink ones up, they do add up to $24,000. So this is again, to make sure that we have what we need in the, mostly the machinery section. Okay. So if you guys feel comfortable, we could table it if you would like to do these. I would prefer that we at least do the retirement ones too.
Let's do it.
Let's do them all.
Okay. So, I'll make a motion that the Town of Rochester Town Board authorizes the town supervisor as the budget officer to make the 2025 year-end budget modifications to the highway fund and general fund as presented.
Second.
Any discussion?
Could we just have the schedule named? Called Schedule A or budget modifications. Something so that we can reference the document and know exactly which version we're looking at.
Like
Just put a title on the spreadsheet.
they're named in the document folder.
Okay, but I would just put it on this when you.
Okay, so it would be the budget modifications to the general fund budget and the budget modifications to the highway fund budget.
As of today.
As of 12/11/2025.
Thank you. Otherwise, no questions.
Yeah.
Second as amendment.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstain, motion carries. Okay. So this. I'm asking you guys to do some things last minute. So we have this contract with Uniforms USA. It's what does the rug cleaning, and I'm asking you to approve it. There's no changes from last year to this year. So it's the same. I guess it's an agreement.
Did you say we were tabling oath? For home rule?
Oh, I didn't say that out loud. I'm sorry. We tabled O. It's on the agenda, but I can tell you guys why. I read the email too quickly and I thought she said as soon as possible. She said as soon as possible in 2026.
Yeah.
So I'd already made the agenda and then I reread her email. And also I spoke with Assemblyman Mar, who is supporting our request fully, and Overocker's legislative director expressed the same sentiment. Yeah, so that felt good. Our assemblyman has been deployed, so he's leaving overseas until September. But I have a direct line to him if we need anything.
Signal.
No. Okay,
We didn't
Or not
a
a-
motion or second on the uniform.
no, not yet. I
thought you were about to.
oh, we didn't, I didn't do a motion, but then
Oh.
Mike pointed out that I didn't acknowledge that we're gonna show. Okay, so do you guys feel okay about renewing
Yes.
Uniform CSA? So I'll make a motion that the town board authorizes the renewal of the Uniforms USA annual contract.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, motion carries. Next up, I, again, I'm asking you guys to do this, but there is a very good reason why. Somehow I let this expire, our generator service maintenance agreement. So, the annual agreement is $724.25. That's one annual service. There's also, we've done the annual, there's a biannual that's like a much better price where you get 2 inspection visits per year. And it costs less. I'm okay if you guys want to go with the 2-year option. I don't know why we haven't done that, but
How many generators do we have?
it's just this one. Yeah, it's like $1,200. Those are versions, those are the ones that they sent me. They sent it in the mail, which, anyway, I found the one that they sent me and then they sent me a new one with new dates.
Oh, so that's the only two difference between.
Yeah, the cost is the same, so they didn't like change,
Is there a motion?
not yet. I'm just wanted you guys to see it, but, and also, do you guys want the 2-year contract?
Moves that we accept the 2-year contract?
Yeah.
Okay, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion carries. Okay. This tabled. I'm not ready for this next one. Please hold. We have a cash flow squeeze, so we need to take money from our reserve, put it in our accounts. Both of them have large amounts of money that are coming very soon, but in order to pay our vouchers, we need to,
Where's that come from?
huh?
Where's that coming
From our reserve account.
Fixed taxes.
Oh, what, the money that's coming in?
Yeah.
Oh, CHIPS is coming in on Tuesday. For $367,000, and then in general fund, there's about $400,000 at least that we're getting by the end of the year.
Franchise.
We franchise fees, mortgage tax, sales tax. Let's see, there was one other. But those,
And those reimbursements exceed what were temporarily.
yes, yeah. Yeah, so we have like exactly what we need in the accounts, which is a bad thing, because my bank reconciliation is not current to today, so I didn't wanna do that, but this is the general reserve fund statement balance, if you guys wanna see it, and then I have the other accounts. But I sort of ran out of time, but we have to do this, so please hold. We have to cover payroll too, which is not.
You're giving me like PTSD from working at several startups.
Listen, I was feeling that way when I was doing the budget mods. My descriptor of my job this week has been I'm strapped into a roller coaster. But we have, I'm gonna do this. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that the town board authorizes a loan from the general fund unallocated reserve fund account to highway fund in the amount of $150,000 to be repaid by January 15th, 2026. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Then I would, I'm asking the board, I'm making a motion that the board authorizes a transfer from the general fund, unallocated reserve funds to general fund checking in the amount of $200,000 to be repaid no later than January 15th, 2026.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. Okay, and then, we don't, the truck, that truck that we budgeted, the $210,000 one, it needs to be ordered as soon as possible so we can get the 2025 pricing. But the superintendent did not have the paperwork to meet in time, so I said we could do it. He said we could do it, and I said we could do it at the next meeting. So I made a task for you to check in with him 3 days before the meeting.
I saw it.
So
So I
we,
thought we budgeted for the cheaper truck.
we did.
That is the cheap.
The
That
more expensive
200.
one was 3.
Yeah, it was 3.
Oh, okay.
That was the little big truck.
The little big truck.
So did either of you want to speak at our second public comment portion of the meeting? Okay. We're over alone.
Still.
Kelly, we have a second public comment portion of the meeting. Did you want to speak at this point of the meeting?
No, thank you very much. This is
Okay.
interesting.
Oh, glad to hear it. Okay. On to discussion items at 9:15. So, Michael, can I let you take it away for
Yeah.
ambulance district one?
How do we want to do this? So do you want me to go through line by line, like the changes that were presented by the county and then the advisory committee? It's not terrible.
I read them.
Can you summarize? And then we had,
Yeah,
there was one change that the board requested at the last meeting.
that wasn't made.
I don't, Zolly said something, I think you made it during the meeting.
Okay, so some
Sorry,
of
that was-
some of what the county came back with was just, being more specific, defining things like meeting performance criteria, basically just referring to the actual requirements we have in terms of what the reporting is. Some happy to glad stuff. One thing, well, I don't, they suggested combining 2 of them or dropping one that had to do with how we phrase the fact that they're allowed to recover for providing those services. So I think that's just something I'll review with Mary Lou, but they essentially were saying you're saying the same thing in 2 sections. So either move it all into 1 section or just drop the second one. We included a lot of the financial details that had been recommended. So I know Zali, you had recommended some. There was some that came from the committee. So statement of financial condition, income statement, cash flow, budget versus actuals.
Zero deadline for audit.
Deadline for audit.
That's what it was. That's what we wanted to add.
Oh, I made a comment on that.
Yeah, we said we didn't need to get all of the, if we could just get there in.
I think we're asking for quarterlies. And also what their audited financials should be 4 months after their fiscal year end.
Sometimes time elect funding is allocated. Financial statements prepared by an independent auditor in accordance with those generally accepted accounting principles for the most recent fiscal year, including that. All right, there was like a copy paste thing. That's something about Outlook calendar here.
Yes, normally this would be provided 4 months after fiscal year end.
I thought I included 4 months.
Yeah.
Because I remember you telling me that. No, I'll talk.
The other thing we forgot is, are we asking for a copy of their IRS Form 990?
Yes.
Yeah,
990
you
federal
have-
state income tax documents. And report on, so this is something the committee had asked for, report on any wages paid using town's funds, including number of paid and volunteer personnel on staff.
That's kind of ambiguous because you don't know who's being paid from town funds versus who's being paid by other funds.
Mhm. I think so the
So-
idea here was wanting to understand
Paid
other
versus
personnel
volunteer.
who's paid versus volunteer.
So the way I would rephrase that rather than say being, first of all, that would be disclosed in the 990.
Mhm.
But secondly, they could just issue a certification stating as of year end, how many paid employees there were, and how many volunteers there were. Because you're not going to be able to figure out how much was paid by the town funds and
We can change that. Sorry, I just want to go back. So you wanted the audit. That was fine. Financial statements prepared by an independent auditor. Well, Zali, I'll reach out to you and figure out
Okay.
where to put, you said 4 months after the end of the previous year.
after the end of the fiscal year. You'll be due by May 15th, following the end of the fiscal year. They're on a calendar year end, right?
No, they should be, yeah. Another thing the county had was, there was a question on 12, which is basically if they're not meeting the obligations, it's kind of an out that we would have to say you can contract with another agency. And there was some discussion within their group about, whether or not we should include that. And I think the language in there, essentially the language is saying that we can bring them back on board if they cure and get to the point where they're meeting the numbers. And
Would that be under a new contract or would that be under the existing contract?
the structure is that it would be under the existing contract, and this kind of mirrors the way the county has set it up. So they can essentially, if you're not meeting the requirements, there's no obligation that the county has.
And what is the actual trigger notice period for suspension?
That's what this is within. So if they can't provide within the 30-day period, their plan, a viable plan for providing the services, then the funds can be allocated and utilized towards.
Out of curiosity, how many competitors do they have? Firms that we could go with? Just out of curiosity.
Um,
Are there any in the area?
2, 3, but
Yeah, two.
not at the
That's great.
price.
Yeah,
Not the price and not location.
yeah, location.
Yeah,
Well, someone
being
would
in the
be
middle of the
stationed
county
here.
is kind of.
Someone would be stationed here if we contracted with another ambulance. We're also in the epicenter of the county. It's 25 miles to the far, 25 miles to the farthest border each way, so.
Yeah, and I mean, we could contract with other local EMS agencies. There's Empress, which is a private ambulance. I think there's one other,
Mobile Life.
Mobile Life is Empress.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's right.
But yeah, It's expensive. And I mean, that's one of the other things that the county was talking about, like. As a county, we need to plan for covering those costs, and particularly advanced life support is gonna be a big.
Yeah.
Issue coming up. I put in some dates for the payments, and I tried to structure these. So basically, we would get the reports, like, for example, we would get the reports for this past quarter on January 12th. That would then give the ambulance committee a week to review it and get comments back to us. And then we would have a week to review those. We would have a meeting where we would authorize.
So we're asking for the reports 12 days after the quarter end?
We're asking for a report for this past quarter, 12 days after.
did you see my comment?
This past quarter being,
No, did you just put it in there?
No, I put it
They
in.
go normal calendar quarter.
so
Oh, I see.
on January 12th is the quarter that you're getting the reports for the quarter ended 12/31?
Yes,
That's not enough
Are
time.
those
for
financial reports or
your-
what kind of reports are-
that's their coverage report and then the financial report.
So I put a comment that I thought we
So
could
I think
extend
that's
that.
short financial report.
Okay,
That's aggressive.
We initially, that schedule, we did all together, like with the ambulance squad and the committee, and everyone was like, perfect. But I think I've noticed that on the day that it's due, it's always like, oh my gosh, I've been rushing. So I put a comment that I thought we could just lengthen it and plan to pay the voucher like at the business meeting following, like give 1 month plus the business meeting time. So that they would have more time to get the financial report in.
I would give them a month for the financials.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And
And
then
then we
we
would,
pay them on the business months. We approve the voucher at the business meeting following that month end.
that's what I'm proposing.
Okay.
so after the close of the quarter, they'd have 1 month to provide the reports, 1 month plus half.
No.
No.
The report's due in 1 month, 30 days, so those reports are due 30 days after quarter end.
Mhm.
And payment would be forthcoming
Okay.
30 days after that, within 30 days.
Within
after.
30 days after that.
So probably the workshop meeting then.
So then,
We should make it the workshop meeting because then that's,
Well, you don't need to specify, just say 30 days after the report is, after the report due date.
but for me, I need to know
Oh, yeah.
for the voucher.
Yeah.
And for the committee, because then if it's the workshop meeting, the committee doesn't have 30 days to look at it.
so we're saying the first report would be due like February 1 or whatever the Monday is.
Yeah.
First Monday in February. And then carry that throughout.
And this is for Marveltown also. Right? We're gonna insert
We had.
the same schedule.
So we had, right,
Yeah.
same schedule. We have had different contracts or slightly different requirements because of the amount of funds for each agency. So.
Just the 12 days is way too aggressive.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I think also, I think both, if we're gonna put it with this, I think it would work. I think this deadline seems to match what my experience has been.
Yeah, and a lot of this information is similar to what the county is requesting for their funding. In fact, the county did mention that some people have kind of said, well, maybe they don't need the money if there's gonna be so many strings attached to it, so we'll get to that in a second. Oh, so the next big thing that I think as a board, we kind of need to think about is in 15. So essentially, specifying what the funds can be used for. So we've cut down to restrict to make sure that the funds are going to things like staffing, addressing wage disparities, covering ALS, mutual aid expenses. And then we still have capital equipment in there. And I don't know if the board feels comfortable with that, if we want to put any specific language in there to clarify that, or just remove capital equipment. Because I think the amount that they're getting, what's been communicated to us is that's primarily to cover staff wages, so we can put it in there. If there's an interest in purchasing capital equipment, I think that could be a discussion in subsequent years, but for the time being. I don't
So
want
to play devil's advocate. Why why do we care what they spend the money on, as long as they're providing a service for us at a fixed cost? Because what we're doing when we evaluate the contract is we look at their financials and say, as a percentage of what your expenditures are on each of these different categories, this is what you say if their operating budget's $1 million and we're giving them $250,000. Do all those numbers look reasonable? Do we really care whether they use money's fungible. So do they care if they use our dollars to buy paper clips or Band-Aids?
Right, as long as it's reasonable in terms of what the overall expenditure.
As long
Yes,
as
yeah.
we can be assured that they're handling their finances responsibly.
I think the inspiration behind that is the public perception that our tax dollars are funding the squad 100%. So like, no matter what they do, people see that as their money and people feel like they should have a say in how they're making purchasing decisions. Whereas if we align the funding with something like
Expense categories.
this paid staff time, that was the reason why they came to us in the first place to increase the funding, was because they didn't have enough volunteers and needed to go hybrid model. So on the flip side, it's if we call that out more and if we're thinking more about that financial piece, I think it could just help a little bit with the perception of how this district is set up, because it's not a majority of their budget.
Right, but if we tell our taxpayers that we are contracting for services from a nonprofit organization that has a hybrid of volunteer and paid staff, what we're paying for is the response to our service needs and for the availability and the on-call nature of their service provision. I see where your point is, but the argument that we would tell our taxpayers is that we're getting contract for services. And that contract is basically, they show up, they're available, and that they're equipped sufficiently to respond to our needs. Are we micromanaging their finances, and are they going to have to be in a position where they're dancing around on their own budget to meet our, call it arbitrary, ability to say that we're paying for staff?
Well, and
Because when they respond, they need, I understand what the origin of the request was, but really what we're paying for is provision of service and availability, and to ensure that they have the proper equipment to respond to our needs.
Go ahead.
I don't know which answer is the right one, but are we putting false constraints on their operations, and putting a lot of micromanaging gates on what they can spend money on? Obviously, when we look at their finances and we feel that money is not being spent appropriately, then that's something to revisit. But
So Joe, in response, I agree with both of your points on both ends. I do think that some of the verbiage and some things in the ambulance squad's contracts compared to what we would put in another contractor that is still paid with taxpayer dollars, whether it's funded in a separate levy or not. Or a separate taxing district or not, still paid with taxpayer dollars. For the most part, if we do a project in contract with a contractor here, we wouldn't be telling Peak Engineering what they can buy with the funds that we paid them for their contract. We wouldn't be telling the planned services agreement with another town how they can spend the money that we're sharing outside of that agreement, with contract, I do feel like it does feel a little bit micromanaging. Me personal, having run nonprofits myself, if I was on the other end of it, I would say it's not worth my time.
Can I just add something that I think,
Can I finish my point?
yeah, sorry,
Please.
sorry.
But that being said, this verbiage wasn't a response to us not getting proper financial reports or getting the call logs on time for the first year. We put in beefier and more, thank you, words into it, so to kind of hold them to a, the hand to the flame type of thing, to be like, no, like, we're making it tighter because we didn't get what we needed and we're missing, there's holes missing from last year still. So all of that to be said, I do think that we could edit it, but I would wonder if giving them things that we are not giving a clause of what they cannot spend the
Yeah.
taxpayer funds on, opposed to telling them what they can, might be easier and feel more digestible to all parties involved. If we're like, no, like, you can't spend it on stocks, you can't spend it on matching retirement fund, like, you can't spend it, like, whatever we deem necessary for those things, where it would be considered something that we're worried about. Or we could even put that you can't make a purchase of over $100,000 of solely funds from this account without, that we can put verbiage in to make it easier than to just keep making it stricter. We can just tell them, this is what's the no. As long as it's for the business, if it's paper clips or Band-Aids, it's fine otherwise. Similar to how grants do where it's restricted or unrestricted funding, we restrict what they can spend it on. But by doing that, we just tell them what they can, not what they can't, because we'll be here all day for that.
The one thing I wanted to add is this came from the squad.
Yeah.
The staff hours came from the squad.
Yeah.
And the advisory committee also liked that idea, so that's where it came from. Whether everyone still feels that way, I don't know, but I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, and
That we came up with that last year when we were all sitting together and everyone thought that was like.
I mean,
Yeah.
if we are getting the reporting that we're now requesting within a deadline that we're now stating, and we're hopefully extending that deadline on a quarterly basis to 1 month, they should be able to comply with that, and we should, I mean, given that we're being more definitive in what we're asking for, and we're giving them more time to make sure that they get it right, rather than in a compressed time when they might be more prone to errors. We should be able to get ourselves comfortable with fewer micromanagement type gates on what they can spend it on. But at the same time, I know that this is a transitional evolution, and if we defer that change to next year, I'd be happy with that too.
Yeah.
yeah, and just to clarify, and it kind of echoes what Erin's saying. I don't think we're putting any undue burden on them. If you look at their costs for staff, it exceeds what they're asking for.
Okay.
They've also mentioned that this is exclusively what they're using it for. We talked about having it in a separate account. They said they're already doing that, and I believe that's in the contract here. So I mean, some of the other things we could consider is including supplies, or specific supplies like bandages or things that are actually on the rig, but not like very expensive equipment that may not necessarily be
It's cost machine.
Yeah, and I get it, like, money's fungible, but at the same time, I think there's a important perception within the community. So knowing that this money is going to staffing and not a party or something,
Okay.
I think
No,
it's
I
reasonable.
mean, I'm happy with that. I mean, if they're comfortable with it, but if they perceive there to be the sort of the segregation of funds and purpose being a hardship on their day-to-day operations, I'd reconsider it too.
Yeah, and we can see, we're gonna provide it to them. If they
Okay.
want to make adjustments, we can do that. We'll obviously talk with the committee about it.
Michael, do you have anything Do we require either ambulance squad to hold our funds in a separate account?
That was one of the things we discussed, and I'm fairly sure we included it.
Yeah, I
So
just couldn't remember if we
KFAS is
included it.
doing
Yeah,
that.
they're
Yes, I
doing-
knew KFAS was doing that. I
think-
just wasn't sure if we required it or not. I was wondering, because I was like, that is a nicer way, easier way to.
Yeah, I'll have to find where that would have been included, but
Because if it is in there, maybe we can just ask for a bank statements for that specific
Right.
account to kind of make that easier of the in and
Yeah.
out.
And we
like,
did
more
that-
Accountability kind of.
We did that. It wasn't required in the contract. We did do that this year.
Where we asked them for that so we could look at it, and they did provide that.
Yes, yeah, I knew that we had requested it after one of the meetings, but I was wondering, like, it might be an easier way to just like.
yeah,
Send us your holsters, you know, or
Yeah.
your key bank
And then
statement
in
for the
our,
last 30
also,
days, 90
I can
days.
do, like. For that fund. There's different ways we can do the budgeting for that fund, so like. It could be, we could have our own reporting also that goes with the financial reporting if we were to do it in a similar way that you're talking about. We would show this amount of money was spent in this quarter on.
Yeah, like I'm thinking of what we do with the courts when we audit their banks and we reconcile their bank statements for in April, whenever we normally do it in April. I was thinking like a similar thing like that, where we could just, check them off and be like, okay, cool, we gave them the check then, they spent all $45,000 in that first quarter, great. Good to go, next one, or even at the end of the year to get all of them to do a final reconciliation, something like
Yeah.
that, might make it easier too to. For the taxpayers to feel like we do have a little bit more fiscal. Responsibility and oversight over our exact funds and where they are and what exactly they're like. Then we can answer if someone comes and is like, well, what are they spending on? We could be like, well, they bought 7,000 bandages on the second quarter out of our account, whether, it'd be easier for us to tell, like. We can see the vendors they're using that way with the money, I guess is my point. To know if it's something like, something would red flag if you're looking at a bank statement and the vendors that we're using. But I don't think it has. to be nice to consider.
so we definitely have a separate account,
You do, okay.
and
So then, yeah, can we just add that to the financial report and
you wanna add bank.
bank
records?
statement
Of that.
of that,
specific
of the specific, of the account holding. Of the key account created to hold the tax. The town funded
I will add
funds.
that.
Taxpayer funded funds. I don't know how to say it, but. You know what I said. I know you're getting that.
I'll try.
You're much better than I am.
Okay, let me. We're almost there. They had some stuff where they, in terms of the language about, providing mutual aid, the county just recommended a few tweaks to that, so. I think those all make sense. We need to confirm their attorney. So one thing that was a big question from the county, and this was specifically because they've had some people that are saying, well, maybe we don't need these additional funds from the county if they're gonna come with, these requirements. Do we want to make our contribution contingent on them coming to an agreement with the county? So basically, you have to also take the county's funds and apply, any of the execute on the requirements.
What does the county give them money?
It's
So
a new thing.
It's a new thing this year, I think. So they're basically, the county is dividing up money to support both ALS and providing money to BLS agencies. A lot of the language in here comes from what the county is actually requiring of them. I think the amount was about 94,000, 96,000 would be for KFAS if they come to that agreement. So
Well, we can't,
I told them there's. Square miles there.
we don't have control over whether they come to an agreement.
Yeah, we can't make them sign a contract.
But what we could do if, so the objective here is to make sure that they apply for those funds, okay, great.
And I know that they're having conversations. to
Because
that effect.
we can't control whether they enter into contract, because we have no control over the county. What if it's the county that doesn't want to give them the contract for whatever reason
Hmm.
they might have, or no reason if. But we could say that the contractee shall make every good faith effort to enter into county to get public funds there. But that also doesn't have the teeth unless there's a contract termination provision. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I mean, I think at least in this first year, I'd be comfortable with a good faith effort standard.
Okay. I
Because
will-
that'll give us enough time to figure out whether there are other reasons that the county's not.
Okay, I'll take a look at that. I think that was everything in the document. Let me just quickly look, because I know there were a few other comments. There were some things that the committee requested that I need to follow up with Mary Lou on to see if we could actually complete about that. Yeah, I have 3 or 4 things I need to still follow up with her about.
Waiver jury trial still in there?
If I included all of their things.
It was in your use version, I think.
Yeah, well, I took her. Oh. Which doesn't pick it up when it's in all caps. So yes, waivers, their respective rights to a trial by jury with respect to any action related directly to the language you have in bold, all caps. Per the requirement. Trying to think, there was one other thing the county recommended was, so currently the agencies themselves are the ones that coordinate ALS coverage and work out the contract in there. So this agreement specifies BLS, and there was some language that they wanted to include that basically said, and you're also responsible for coordinating ALS coverage, even though this contract, we're contracting you to BLS, the expectation is that you're also contracting.
And it's a shall, not a may.
Yeah. Find a section for that, so I'm just gonna make a note to track that down. I think that's important. All right. I think that's everything.
Thank you for persevering.
Okay, so what's our next step?
I need to go through. Make these changes, talk to Mary Lou, and then I think I'll send it to the committee and see if we can schedule a time to sit down with them.
Or have them come to the workshop meeting, or you want to do a one-on-one?
Let me see when I can get feedback from Mary Lou, but
Okay.
if we can do it at the workshop meeting, that's good. Sorry, I know that wasn't the quickest discussion.
Okay, so are we all done with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say that we need to. So the phone renewal system, if you guys are. Right now, we have this like contract for the phone devices themselves, and then we have the contract with Ring Squared. I have an updated contract renewal with Ring Squared with that is actually a little less, so we're getting a little bit more service for a little bit less on that. Now that I mean, I shouldn't say anything, but things have been going smoothly so far. And then our handsets are a different service contract that I don't know if the board remembers, but it's like $1,000 a year, basically, for that. So that one I have not received in the mail, but it is coming up. So I'm just giving you a heads up that that might come in the mail, and we usually do it this time of year. So if you decide in December, when I'm not around, that you want to do something totally different, that's okay, but hopefully there's a plan in
This
place.
is BOYP.
No. I've been looking into that, but I don't think we have a strong enough internet for that.
For what the voiceover.
Mhm. So, but it's worth looking into. Well, the terms of the other contract, I think, is month to month, but again, I did not, that link was in the email. Okay, code enforcement officer, moving forward with some interviews. I've done some outreach, so I'll follow up about that. We're hoping like 4 to 6 weeks maximum, just
Onboarding or selection?
for hire, to get someone, yeah, on to hire date.
Okay.
Yeah. I was hoping, I got everything in for the liability and general insurance renewal, so I thought I was gonna get those quotes and everything. That typically goes in our organizational meeting. If that doesn't come in this month, we'll have to accept those rates. As soon as they come in. Tabling the next two, and then Zolly, I guess maybe you and I can talk offline. I don't know if there's something that people are waiting for me to do on the courthouse purchases, but I haven't heard back about things, so I wasn't sure.
They don't have a new ad.
Well, it's the same one, so they,
Okay.
Forwarding now.
it's not forwarding, it's just the same email
Oh,
address.
Mine's not.
It's not for dollars.
Oh, you guys.
We're new. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys would forward your the ones you were using to your new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we can ask Fish. They'll log into your accounts and they can just put your emails in to the system for you.
All right, so we
That's migrate.
will reach out to them, then, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, or if you want me to reach out on your behalf, I can too.
To
Fish.
Fish.
Yeah.
I only have like 10 emails in my old box, so
And they're probably all for me.
probably.
I didn't, basically, it's December, so all of a sudden, everything is broken. And I'm like, anyway, I'm gonna have to spend all of that professional services money that we have, like I'm getting calls every day about stuff. That's,
Fix it all before.
Wait, what,
I'm
yeah,
in
on
charge.
the buildings?
so. I was saving that pool for the courthouse repairs, but we're just gonna have to use what we have budgeted next year for that. Anyway, I'm just giving you guys heads up because I got a bill to like get a squirrel out that's like,
No, not again.
Yeah, they're so expensive.
it's not a bill, it's a quote.
It's like
Is
400
this
bucks.
no,
Where is it? Town?
tell me, is this reasonable?
I got,
many
all right,
are
I got
Is it the schoolhouse?
400
Where
for
is it?
groundhog, and that's more challenging than squirrel.
Oh,
Right?
How much
How
is
much?
it?
Who should I call? You guys tell
Which
me.
building is it in? I gotta,
courthouse.
maybe on the site, I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah,
is
it's
it like
I'll
Bill
get out.
Murray's?
Peanut
I
butter
I
and
got 5 rides last week.
It's in
Just let
the,
my dog out.
it's in the wall.
Yeah, you can open a wall and
made it.
close it.
Okay, great.
Alright, well, you don't, oh yeah, you don't. You don't.
Um, Also, like this,
You might need to shine.
you should see my desk right now, and I'm like, can someone make a decision for me?
Actually, that's.
You just get a couple rolls of duct tape.
This is
Like,
not bad.
What?
I think it's what I would charge.
What? How
This
much?
isn't bad.
What?
That's not bad. We
1,300 for-
paid like $4,000 for the schoolhouse that one year. It was like 4 squirrels.
Well, it's per squirrel rate, obviously.
Yeah, obviously they charged us by squirrel. I remember when Mike was, me
That
and you were
seems
the
a
only
lot.
ones who signed the bills that night, because I remember we had to sign it, we were the only one.
Does that include like opening up the wall physically? and
Yeah.
repairing it?
They're like making a trap door and then,
I had bats and I paid less than that, and that was the same thing. They made the
all
trap,
right,
one-way
so if
trap.
you guys
door.
have recommendations for who I can call to get.
Yeah, I'll send
Okay.
you.
Right, the one
Mine.
back here.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad I have you guys to do that.
Writing your own name, Sally?
Yeah, Charlotte.
Okay.
Actually, my
do-
dad will do it for $10.
So Solly, you had asked about the boards and commissions. I feel like our default should not be that we reappoint people.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I know them. Okay. And they have the billboard.
and he lives in town.
Yeah.
Oh, I have the number at work.
Yeah, because he did something.
Mhm.
You did it, thanks.
I agree with you. I don't think that we should automatically appoint. I think that we should open it up to
Yeah.
other people and review the applications we get.
Yeah, so I think we should definitely consider people who are interested in being reappointed and they should.
Oh, yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
Now Stacy did reach out to everyone and she has a census of who wants to be reappointed and who doesn't. I made sure that she did not express that it was a default. Because I anticipate, this is what I wanted, was that we not have that be a default.
So then what happens is their term, if their terms expire 12/31, we might not be in a position to make a determination.
Which is fine. You can stay in an expired term.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I wanted to ask you guys about the timeline of that. Now we do have a list of all the expired terms and who's in them and who's interested. And then there's also vacancies. So I don't know how you guys want to do it. If we're doing it this new way, then it would be probably the best to kind of advertise all at once so that we have pools of applicants.
What I do is just make it clear to the incumbents that we're opening it up to new nominations. They're willing to, I mean, they're encouraged to reapply. But then we will be advertising the vacancies and say today's 12/15, so make new expressions of interest due, say, January 15th through January 20th. So that we can start to sort out some of these applications.
And we'd interview everyone, we'd interview.
Well, so
people we
first
wanted to
step,
interview.
okay, I will put January 15th as a deadline, but then first step is, do we want a policy that is adopted at the organizational meeting?
Yeah, and could we also address, like, there's one or two cases where there's kind of an absent member and we don't want to
Yes.
go through the issue of publicly calling them out, but kind of just roll them off without doing that.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the opportunity to do
Yeah.
that. Yes, we have that highlighted. Okay, a couple of these. Okay, so we have. So you guys don't know about this yet. I'm about to show you. I have a task board in our meeting notebook and I can tag people who are saying they're gonna do something and then you get an email.
Ooh, accountability emails.
So.
Oh, but
It's
my
Michael.
email's not working.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Aaron, my email just crashed.
Well,
Doesn't
mostly
work anymore.
Michael, me and Stacy right now, so you guys don't have to worry about it,
I
but.
deleted a bunch of those emails already.
You're not allowed to delete emails.
Just reroute
Yeah.
right to the junk
I don't know if
box.
those are records, Kate. Can I get a ruling on this? I have
Governing
not deleted
records
them.
are permanent.
I have deleted them.
What about sales things?
So those are okay.
Yeah, I can't keep
Listservs,
them.
listservs are not your
Get rid
record.
of them.
I've been
Yes,
opening.
there's always been
all
conflict
folder
of.
for.
You're like actively adding stuff for me.
I am.
What?
Mike Bacon's getting an angry letter from me,
Yes.
man.
Because
All the junk mail. I thought we had.
it was stated that if they're making it the attempt, so
Yep.
that was. Because it's their attempt to reach out to you, that's their creating, but now I've been reading a lot,
Stop.
managing emails.
Cool assignments.
Do not engage.
Right. But everything
you can
else
move
that's
them
on the
to your
governing
to-do
board
list.
is permanent.
Oh, I know. Like I can put the email on my to-do list.
And anybody other than
It's
a
not like
governing
anyone
board,
showed me how to.
all
do
their
any of
records
this.
every 7 years for the year, go. and that was
I saw
never.
you getting involved with the JSON.
Since we're kind of talking about committees and emails, I've gotten some interest that they want to take over their calendars. And is that possible going forward?
Their calendars?
Yeah, just the ability to schedule in the meetings. So Julie was asking.
I don't know why,
Their meeting?
What's that?
You mean scheduling their meetings, or do you mean their calendar on the town website?
Yeah. Yeah.
And scheduling their meetings?
Yeah, like just, instead of having to go through me to go through Erin, is there like?
I
a
think
way to
what
give it-
happened is I just set up the meetings because no one could do it in a Gmail calendar.
Yeah.
I don't care. They can just set up their own calendar.
Yeah, that's what it, like, now that we're like on.
I just did that because it was like, everyone was like, we don't know how we want to organize it. So I was
Yeah.
like, would you like me to set those up?
But the committees could have like an admin
If
file, like,
they don't need a physical space, if they need like the community center, they'd have to coordinate.
well, no, obviously, yeah, but.
They can, they can make a Gmail account
Okay,
and then the coordinator could just have a Gmail account. Let Kate know
yeah,
and like that it's like, and then we could publish that too, and then they can use that to have like the Google, they could use the Google Suite like they are using now,
yeah.
but
okay.
just with that email.
All right, so we're not going to give them a committee like ag at Town of Rochester account.
Not currently, I mean, we'd have to pay for each.
Oh, you have to
additional
pay.
account.
Yeah, it's like $12 or $20 a month for each account.
Okay.
So
and we
right
can fix it
now,
on
the
subject
policy
to
is
open
we're
meeting
not
law.
doing
Okay.
I don't think any of these are subject to open meeting law, right?
Yeah, not the ECC, HPC, REC, Planning Board, Zoning Board of Appeals all have an email account. Cause they're conducting the business of a public body, so we do have those. Okay, yes, they're totally, it's okay for them to have ownership of those things, and if someone would like me to, I don't know what the deadline I put on the meetings was, but I'm happy to just like delete that or whatever, I just
Okay.
did it in the very beginning to be helpful.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, do not want anyone to have to go through me for a calendar. Okay. December workshop meeting review, so basically, Michael's gonna be chairing that meeting, we talked about it, it's on Tuesday. So
It's gonna be short.
You bring.
we tabled a lot of stuff. So that meeting, because it's a Tuesday and because of how the week lands, it should be an audit at the end of the meeting because it's going to be too challenging for our staff to prepare all the bills before the weekend for you. Yeah. So that's going to happen at that meeting.
Okay, I
Then-
can't come. to-
Michael's bringing cookies, right?
Yes, I have
Whatever.
ordered them as the
Whatever gets
deputy
that here quickly.
to,
I'll bring cookies, I think.
Oatmeal chocolate chip.
then the
That sounds
only
good.
thing, hold on, you guys can chat all you want when you're signing bills, but the only thing that's on the agenda that we haven't talked about right now is at the organizational meeting, we do adopt our fee schedules. So I will have those. I have those all prepared and we'll basically have the agenda and all the meeting backup is going to be available to you guys probably tomorrow. So at that meeting, I'd like for the board to make a decision whether or not you're ready to put you can make edits or whatever you want to those fee schedules. But if we want to table them, that would be a good thing to know for you guys to decide at that meeting also. Do you see what I'm saying?
If those fee schedules are voted in December, how difficult is it to change them later on?
It's just through resolution.
So
But I'm providing them, so if you guys want to make any changes, and then that's what we adopt on January 2nd. If you're like, we want to redo this whole thing.
We don't have to vote on them, we just need to get you edits for the organizational.
Yeah.
meeting,
Yeah, so basically,
If we have.
I think it should be a discussion item, so each one, we will have access to those as Excel spreadsheets, like tomorrow. I have them in on my computer.
Okay.
But not
Files with
uploaded.
computer.
Hmm?
Files with.
No, the actual fee schedules are in my, okay,
Super.
all right. I think I'm forgetting something, but it's,
Just fall on my plate.
it's 10 o'clock, so.
all, folks, that's what you'll.
All right, so we are going to do a bill, an audit, and then we will have one resolution, which is to accept the abstract, but we're gonna stop streaming.
Okay.
While we do that.
I just tried to kill you.
I'm gonna end the stream.